Hey everyone, this is Ralph and I am 3D printing engraving. There's been a lot of people that have joined the Facebook group for Creality's laser. Um, Creality came out with Falcon Design Space. I put a little bit of information out there before on it, but I'm hoping this little video will help you guys, all the newcomers that haven't touched a laser, don't know anything about a laser, uh, jump in there, get started with Falcon Design Space. It will help you learn what you could do inside it. I give you a few little pointers, little how-tos, but remember, always wear your safety glasses, have a fire extinguisher nearby. You never know what could happen. Um, with that said, let's get started. Oh, and if you haven't, please hit like or subscribe. Um, it helps me. I appreciate it. I thank you for watching. Let's go. All right, when you load up Falcon Design Space after everything is done, this is what it looks like. First thing we're going to do is click on Canvas. Make sure our laser is connected. If you have not, you need to go back, do a camera calibration if you have a camera. If you do not, don't worry about it. Let's move on. On the left-hand side, you have File, where you can open your projects, save projects, run G-code, save G-code, all that stuff. You have the Select tool, you have the Drag tool, you have the Shape tool. There's a few shapes in here, some fun. Polygon, you could always change it, how many shapes or how many sides you have. The Text tool, pretty simple. Lets you type in your fonts. We'll go more into that. Line tool. Okay, under image, I have some preloaded images in here already. Put it on the hot list, see what's been used most. Um, collect mine. So if you want to add an image to the image library, what you would do is load an image. You could save it like this, but I'm going to trace this so I don't have this white background. So I'm going to just go ahead and right click on it, hit trace image. I'm just going to put the threshold up a little bit, hit confirm, select this image again, delete it. And then I'm going to go to mine, make it a fill layer. Actually want to make it the black line here. I don't know if it matters, but I'm just going to do that. Right click on it, add to image library, image added successfully. Come back to the images, go to mine. There it is. If I delete it, go to image, click on it. Doesn't look the same, but it loads properly. Over here you have split, close, smart fill, resizing, rotate, rounded corners. Here's your layers. Each layer, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Depending on what you're doing, we're just going to go ahead and remove these. All right, so we have one layer. You have line engraving, fill, and cut. And depending on what type of material you have here, there's a bunch of preloaded material. you'll notice the speeds and powers change. It all depends on what material you're picking out. So this is your preloaded materials, absolute chord in current position. I use absolute chord most of the time, especially with a camera. If you don't have a camera, you can use either absolute or current, whatever you're more comfortable with. It's going to take time to learn, so don't get worried. Processing plan, near, far, auto plan. Auto plan is mostly great. This is the laser you have selected. Camera, if you have a camera, make sure it's calibrated. Make sure it's calibrated good. And what you would do is you would click photo and it will take a picture of whatever's inside the laser at that time. My pencil engrave jig. I'll show you how to do this here in a little bit. If you wanted to trace it, it would outline it and trace it. If you don't want to see that anymore, you could just click display photo and it goes away. Then over here, you have your console. Under frame, if you hit the down arrow, this is the home button. You can move the laser head any way you want. This is the movement distance. Every time you click, movement speed, power. Now power at 1 and laser on. So when you frame and it does its framing, you will see that the laser is firing at 1%. This is a good way to keep an eye on it when you're framing so you can position your wood or whatever material you're using. After you're done framing, you can go ahead and hit start and it'll start your project. Let's go ahead and move on and do some work. All right, now centering your image or getting it in the correct position. We're going to use the A1 that has a camera for this one, and then I'll do one without a camera. So I'm just going to put absolute chords in there for now. We'll go ahead and open an image. Let's see what they have. We'll take the dog. We want to do a fill engraving so it looks nice. Just like that. We're just going to center her here for now. And you can see that center right there. You want to flip them, change them. I mean, the tools are right there for you. All right, now that we're centered screen, let's say we're using basswood, fill, there's our speed, there's our lines, absolute chord. So we're going to come over to the camera because this is what we're going to use for this one. And we're going to hit photo. And what it's going to do is take a screenshot of inside your enclosure or wherever your laser is set. It's going to take a picture of inside. So we'll hit photo. And it leaves a nice little shadow right there. That's the bars. My lighting isn't the best, but we're going to work with what we got. So there we go. And you can see the piece of wood I have in there is right there. All we have to do is position it where we want it on the image. If we want it on the bottom left, right there is where we're going to go. We could hit engrave. We could hit start and it will be right there. If you're unsure and you don't know if your camera is 100% calibrated correctly, you can come here to frame. And what you do is you want to make sure it's on a single pass. You want to make sure the power is on. 1%. This way it will allow you to see the light from the laser. Movement speed's fine. If you want to do more than one pass, that's fine also. We'll just go ahead and let it frame and see if it's right. All right. It showed right when I hit the frame button. It put it right there in that corner. And that's pretty much it when you have a camera. I mean, if you have it calibrated 100% correctly, it's going to work. Okay, let's say you don't have a camera. How do you go about doing this? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is come over here, change it from absolute chord to current position. Once you have that down, you can move the laser to wherever you want. If you want to put it in the center position, that's great. If you want to put it in the bottom left position, just make sure you come over here and select it. I want to put it right there on the bottom left position or the top left. All you're going to do is walk over to your laser, put the nozzle right about there, and then hit frame. And when you hit frame, it's going to frame that out. So once again, for people that do not have cameras, you're going to use current position. You're going to put it, I usually do bottom left or center, depending on what I'm doing. If I have it centered, let's say it's a round base that you have and you want to have it centered, you could put a little dot there, with a pencil or something. And then when you hit frame, you'll see the laser come on and it will circle it. I usually do bottom left corner unless it's a circle, and then I use center. But this is all up to you. This is kind of an easier way of doing it if you don't have a camera. Another way, you can leave it on absolute. You could hit frame and you can watch where it frames. And then you can move it. So let's say you hit frame and it ends up framing over here more. Well, you can either move your image over to where you want it. So let's say it's over here more. Hit frame and just make sure it frames where you want it. You want them up here. You hit frame and the frame is actually a little bit lower than where you think it is. Just move your image down. You can move your wood. I mean, you could do it multiple ways, but I don't use the camera. I personally use current path or current position. I hope that makes sense to you. All you're doing is hitting frame, moving your wood or your image to where you need it to frame. If you have coasters, let's go ahead and move this guy out of the way for a second. Let's clear this camera picture. We'll come in here, draw a rectangle. We're going to change this layer. And we'll just leave it as a line. That's fine. Change the size of it. I'm going to unlock that. You know, let's make it bigger. Let's make it 100 by 100. And we're going to leave it here. And we're going to make an array. We'll do a grid just like that. You could separate it. Oops, not rows. Spacing. We're going to put the puppy in it. Shrink him up just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Just like that. So let's say we have 4 coasters or something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here. Current position. Put it down there. Hit the frame and make sure it frames this whole square out properly. Let's say it's off a little bit over here. I could take the wood, slide it over. I could slide my coasters over. It really doesn't matter if you move your coasters, if you move the image over. Just be consistent. Learn away and keep doing it that way. The frame tool is your friend. Make sure you use it. Let's say you have an image that you want to work with. You want to engrave this image. We're just going to put it right here for now. And we can right click on it and hit trace, or we can come up here to image trace. What we want to do is trace this image to get rid of this white line background. So we'll click trace. We're going to bring the threshold up a little bit. You notice the red lines are in there. We could zoom in, make sure the red lines are copying. You see these little red dots here? We don't want those. That's a noise. So if we start removing noise, you can see it's gone. It takes care of those dots. I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm. Now you can't see it, but it made another image here. And if we take the original image and slide it over, you can see that it's hidden behind it. What we want to do is take this image, I'm going to change it to a black line layer, and I'm just going to put it as fill for now. And as you can see, the two images are almost exactly alike, except for this probably has a little bit more detail now. We could go ahead and delete this image. And now we're ready to engrave. Remember to make sure you have your correct wood, 4 or 5 millimeters, because that always determines your speed and power. We could get rid of these other layers that are not here needed. And that's how the trace tool works. Very easy to do. I hope this makes sense. We'll go ahead and do another image real fast. We'll delete this one. We'll come in, we'll grab same thing. Come over here. We'll hit trace. We'll bring the threshold up. Look, we'll see a little bit of those dots in there. Got to get rid of some of that noise. We'll hit confirm. Like I said, we could drag it or we could just hit delete. If you want to see the two images side by side, we'll just drag it over. Come back over here. We will make it a black fill layer. Now that image is ready to engrave. One thing we could do is let's take this image. Let's make an offset. An offset puts a line around the outside of the image. I think we're going to do 2 millimeter. I'm just looking to make sure it's all on the outside of this image. Now, some programs allow you to do outside only offsets. Because if you look at this, this has blue lines on the inside. We really don't want those blue lines in there. So we'll just leave it at 2. We'll hit confirm. And I'm just going to slide that over for a moment. Slide that one over. This is all the stuff that was inside it that we don't want. I'm just going to delete it. Next thing I'm going to do is move him back. I'm going to select our main image. I'm going to select this and make this a line image. I'm going to select the main image. I'm going to hold down Shift and select the line image now. I'm going to go to Align, Center. And there you go. So what it will do, it will engrave this and then give you a 1 millimeter line, or sorry, it was 2 millimeter line on the outside. So let's say we want to make that smaller. We could take that outside line now, after we cleaned it up. We could do another offset. This time we could go in. Take that outer line that we had and delete it. So now it's even closer in. So now when you do this, you'll have your fill line. You'll fill this whole thing in where it's black. And then when it's done, it's going to cut out the image. I hope you guys find that useful. If you have any questions, please leave comments below. All right, we're going to use the text tool. We'll type in hello. Make it bigger so we can see it. The font's okay, I guess. I mean, come over here and you can change the font to whatever you want. Just make sure it's, laser friendly, depending on what you're going to do with it. So with that said, oh, I do not like that. On. Here we go. That said, we're going to add an offset. And I made a video on how to use text and make keychains and stuff like that. I'll link it in case that's what you want to do, but I'm just giving you a quick overview on what you could do. You could add an offset to it. You want to make sure all those blue lines are touching each other. This way it makes it a solid piece. There'll be a little gap there, but that's okay. It's still attached down there. We're going to take the outer layer and we'll assign it a different. Sometimes I have to zoom in. I don't know if it's my eyes or just this program. And we'll give it an outer layer. We're going to get rid of that gap there. So we're going to just delete those. And then I'm going to select the letters again, hold down Shift, click on the offset, align, center. So what it will do, it will engrave hello, and then we'll cut it out. Okay, getting started with a jig. Not all jigs are made for every program. I'm going to use one that I made for Lightburn. I'm going to import it. And we'll just put it up here in the center. There's center, there's center. All right. I'm going to ungroup this for a moment. All I really want, well, let's get rid of this outline. All I want is this circle right here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And I'm just going to move it out of the way. Now I'm going to come back and group this together. I'm going to take this circle again, hold down Shift, select the jig, align, center. So now we have this in the center. And what we want to do is current position, center. And we would want to put the laser dead on there. Next thing I would do is slide the laser down and then to the left and make sure it's in this position. If not, adjust it just a little bit. And then you can slide it directly over here, make sure it's in that position, that position, that position. Once you're all set, you can go back to your center, put it back in the center, and you are ready to go to use this jig. What you would do is take an image. We'll go back to the image. This time we'll use the cat. Remove the cat out of the way, shrink them down. Once we have the cat in position, we'll hit array, grid. We're going to go 3, 4, sorry, by 3. And I think it was 20. Oop. No, 25. 25 looks about right. 50. Ooh, that's close. Maybe it's 55. Yeah, that looks good. 52. That looks more centered to me. I think everything looks good there. We're going to hit confirm. And now we're ready to do our business cards. I'm going to say that I was off because it's looking closer to the bottom there. So I was probably a couple millimeters off. I go back into array. I can hit back. Really try this on. Pay attention. Grid array. 4, 3. We were like around 25. See, yep, that was too much. Try 22. 23. 24. Ah, there we go, 24. That keeps them all pretty much centered. I think we're at 52. 53 maybe. There. There you have it. 12 business cards ready to go. As long as you center it there and you verify that moving it by hand or mechanically to those positions, you're good. Make sure it's on center, current position. When you frame it out, it will frame it all out and you should be golden. I hope you understand how that works. I hope you understand how that jig works. This is just one of the ways to do a jig. All right, doing a jig from inside Falcon that's already there. We'll take the pencil jig. All right, loaded. So you can see it has a couple of layers. It has a black layer, it has a green layer, it has this blue layer. This is the cut layer. And you notice it's at the bottom. You have the green layer, which is fill engraving and line cutting for these. They could have done them both, but I guess they wanted this to do it first and then come to the outside, which is fine. Once this is cut out, we'll move this out of the way for now. We'll center this. And you know what? Let's go ahead and build this because I honestly don't have one of these. So let's go ahead and make this. I may just do 2 layers for this one. It'll give the backboard something that the pencils will fall in and not fall through if there's something on the back side. Most of my jigs have 2 layers just so it doesn't fall through. My keychain jig, my business card jig. So let's go ahead and build a pencil one that's already pre-made. It's free for you to use, so why not, right? Let me grab my wood. Now this is MDF wood. Let's see. Really don't see MDF wood in here. We'll go with basswood plywood. We'll give it a shot. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt. If I'm wrong, so I'm gonna leave it. You know what? Let's do it by absolute coordination. absolute chords. We'll frame it. We'll make sure it's on the wood. As you can see in the video that I'm going to post here in a second, you can see the dot and it keeps it in the frame. Next thing to do will be to adjust the laser head to the proper height. Using your laser tool focus adjustment, went ahead and did that. We're going to go back to the home position and we're going to start this. Now it's going to get loud in here, so I'm going to go ahead and mute it. And when it's done, we'll show you. Like I said, I'm doing this without the camera. It's not necessary to have a camera, but it's ideal to have one. Makes it a little faster and easier.